So what you're about to see is a demo that I created for my very own Valorant agent. I worked on Cruz with my own development team for about 2 years, and unfortunately he was never finished. I've debated for about 6 to 8 months on whether or not I even wanted to show this to anybody, but ultimately I decided that I loved this character far too much to let no one know he even existed. So without further ado, this is Cruz.
Is the world that you're in okay? Or does it need a hero who never wore a cape to come and save the day? I patiently wait, counting all the different ways we get to stay the same. I need a change. Can you feel them coming closer? Won't become some fallen soldier. I'm slowly losing my composure. I can feel them taking over. Taking over.
Hey everyone, I know I've been MIA for about 6 to 8 months or so, and I'm hoping to kind of explain that with the story of Cruz. What you just watched was a demo that my team and I ended up making for VCT. I went out there and I showed the developers and other content creators.
This is insane though. I know that's a lot of work.
Just what we had accomplished so far with Cruz in about a year and a half total time. So the initial goal was to create a Valorant agent, one that my team and I could provide all in-game assets that Riot could essentially just pour over to the game with minimal work required. Essentially doing the work of a development team in the hopes that myself could gain a spot as a Valorant voice actor, and then my team would gain more stable jobs within the gaming industry. I completely understand that these are borderline impossible goals, but that is what my dream was and my team's. During that 2-year period, we did end up getting in contact with Riot Games for about 6 to 8 months or so, where they were kind of going back and forth with their legal team, trying to see if we could do some sort of presentation. After that 6 to 8 months, Riot did come back to me and pretty much tell me that we were never going to be able to get a meeting with them. And the reason that they gave me was basically all down to legal reasons, which I completely understand. I did try going back and forth with them, seeing if we could do like a Discord call, a Zoom meeting. I also offered myself and my team sign any legal papers required, giving up all rights to Cruz and everything that we had worked on. But unfortunately, their legal team wasn't allowing us to show them anything. During this time, I debated putting in more and more money. Unfortunately, at that point, I really just couldn't afford to put any more money into it. And so at this point, when I pretty much decided that I was gonna end the project, I wasn't really in the best spot mentally, pretty much just because something that I had been working on for like 2 years essentially was never gonna happen. It did a number on me, to say the least. And I already know that for some people, they're gonna think this is me being overly dramatic, right, about one project. But that was my dream. That was my goal. It just felt like that kept happening. Those of you who know my journey from having to restart my entire YouTube channel to doing the phase top 100 for phase 5 and then like the phase 1 and then the content house that I was a part of, it kind of felt like I was in this never-ending cycle where no matter how hard that I worked, I was never going to achieve my goal. I understand that that's not the case, but in that moment when this 2-year project just ended, I just felt incredibly defeated and I felt like a failure. That's a big feeling that I struggled with for a while now, just in a lot of things. And this isn't me looking for sympathy. I understand that I'm not a failure. I understand that, I've succeeded in a lot of different ways, but that was just how I felt. And for a while now, I've really been going back and forth in my own head about whether or not I wanted to release this demo that we had for Cruz or to show any of the progress that we made on this character. But ultimately, I came to the decision that that would have been really selfish for me to just let Cruz die and let all this work that myself and the entire team put together, because my team did work incredibly hard on this project with me. And so I want them to get as much credit as I possibly can give them. Below, you will find everybody on the project's information. And I hope that anybody watching understands why I'm putting Valorant behind me. Truth be told, I don't know when I'll be back to making content again. I hope that all of you love Cruz as much as I do. I just genuinely want to thank everybody who has ever supported me throughout my career. Thank you to anybody who's just listened to my ramble here, and I hope you have a happy new year.